You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Our top story today, Social Security. The left wants you to believe that the president is cutting benefits, but that's not the case. What's true is he's finding fraud, a lot of it, and he's cutting out that fraud with the help of Doge and Elon Musk. Let's go to White House correspondent Allison Steinberg with more on this. Allison, good to see you. What's the latest when it comes to Social Security?
Good to see you, Vanessa. Yes, about 4 million 4 million illegal aliens have been receiving Social Security benefits here in America under the Biden regime. As we know, were notorious for their wide open border and refusal to rid the country of any of these illegal criminals and terrorist organizations. And not only that, they were also receiving Social Security benefits as well. In fact, there was a great clip that really highlighted the audacity of this situation. Let's take a look at that.
Fox to reveal what's really going on. Doge exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now here's the story. Doge has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, Doge says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. Doge also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid. Millions received driver's licenses, some registered to vote, and Doge says some actually did vote. Try and square that against Democrat claims that Musk is destroying Social Security and cutting Medicaid. He's not destroying. He's weeding out people who don't qualify. Who is really guilty of misinformation in this case? It is not Elon Musk.
It really makes you wonder, Vanessa, how there are so many people here in America that are so anti-Elon Musk and anti-Doge when he's just working to uncover the disgusting amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that has occurred within our government. And now illegal aliens and people who don't even exist getting Social Security benefits. It is just disturbing on the highest level. And, you know, it wasn't long ago when people like you and I were called conspiracy theorists for saying that this is happening and saying that these illegal aliens were being brought into our country so that they could vote and help rig our elections. And what do you know? Here comes the truth. We were right all along.
I love that you brought that up, Allison, because, you know, we have been called conspiracy theorists for years. And 99.9% of the time, the things that we've been saying do come true eventually. And so, yeah, this is just another one of those cases where we're being called conspiracy theorists and they're uncovering all this fraud. Going back to, we talked about this earlier, Allison, going back to President Trump, he really laid it out on the line and gave good examples during his joint address to Congress a couple weeks ago, where he said that Social Security was going to people who were over 100 years old, 150 years old, all the way up to over 250 years old, stating our country isn't even over 250 years old. We're a new nation. We're only 250 years old. So they're uncovering this money going to people. Who are these people? Where did the money really go to? So much fraud, but they're getting down to the bottom of it.
They sure are, and I am so glad to see it happening, especially because, you know, the left has successfully, or the leftist media, I should say, has successfully brainwashed their viewers into believing that Trump is coming for their Social Security and he's going to take it all away from them, when that couldn't be further from the truth. He's working hard to preserve it, and he's working hard to uncover the fraud, and this should be, you know, a happy moment for every American to know that we're ridding our government of this corruption, and that, you know, that's more money back to the American citizens who've paid into the system so they can retire comfortably. So it's a good day here. My concern moving forward, though, is that, you know, there are still states working to combat President Trump's efforts to get rid of the corruption and the waste and the fraud and the abuse. For example, New Jersey, they are working and telling, you know, local cops to not comply with ICE to get rid of the illegal aliens that reside there now. I mean, we know many of these liberal blue cities have become sanctuary cities for these aliens, and now this is just a direct slap in the face back to President Trump. Governor Murphy telling local police not to cooperate with immigration officials. So this is concerning. However, for some good news, President Trump did, I'm sorry, this morning it was actually the House officially voted to pass the SAVE Act, which is going to require proof of U.S. citizenship to vote in any federal election. So there's a lot going on with the immigration, but it does look like, of course, the president and now Congress is working to push back against the corruption and the progressives that continue to try to allow these aliens to run free and have the freedoms that American citizens have.
Absolutely. And, you know, I know you hit on New Jersey. We're going to be talking to Mike Crispy of New Jersey here in just a moment. And we'll talk more on that with him as well. But it's just astonishing to me, Allison, that these authorities who are allowing these illegal aliens, many of them criminals, to roam the streets and not comply with federal law, to lock them up. Why would you not want them to be locked up? And so that's the question that remains. I don't understand it. I know you don't understand it either. Make it make sense. It does not make any sense. But at the end of the day, I think it's just an effort to make President Trump's job harder. But in the long run, they're the victims, or the people who are going to be the victims, or the people of that state and the cities and the communities, because these illegals are running rampant, one, and two, he's just going to cut federal funding to these places. So in the end, they need to comply.
That's right. They absolutely do. And I think that's great news from President Trump, you know, finally announcing he's going to cut the federal funding. That is breaking news as of today. I think that's absolutely what needs to happen, because if not, you know, these sanctuary cities are just going to continue to operate the way that they already do. In fact, the top 5 states, New Jersey isn't even one of them, but California, Illinois, Virginia, Massachusetts, and Kentucky are the top 5 states that are rejecting detainers, which, you know, are orders from ICE officials to have these people held and investigated and ultimately removed. So, you know, we have thousands of detainers on many of these aliens. We have these sanctuary cities refusing to comply. So I'm very glad to see President Trump, you know, signing this mandate this morning to cut all federal funding, because it's got to stop, and we know that these radical leftists can't be trusted. So it's good to see President Trump taking swift action there.
Absolutely. Allison, good to see you. Thank you so much for that report.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. Take care.
All right, keeping our focus on New Jersey today. All eyes on the state flipping it red. That's our hope. A lot of work is being put in there to garner more votes for the GOP. We bring in New Jersey delegate Mike Crispy to talk about what's going on there. Mike, so good to see you, friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, Vanessa. Congratulations on everything. Lindell TV is going up and up. Beautiful to see everybody on the White House grounds. We got the real news at the White House now. No more fake news. It's so awesome.
It really is, and it's a new day to allow networks like Lindell TV to be there and to get the real news and report it to the American people. We'll talk about you. You have a show on Lindell TV. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. I'm excited about your show as well. But, you have a lot of work on your hands. New Jersey. I have been keeping my eye on New Jersey for quite a while. Mike, I was in Wildwood, I believe it was in May of last year, for a big rally there on the beach of the Jersey Shore. What an amazing day that was. And I knew right then when I stepped foot on the beach in that beautiful sand on the water that New Jersey was in play. What are your thoughts there?
Well, that was an amazing day. And, if the viewers remember, I spoke at that rally, and I remember getting up there and I was reading some poll numbers the night before, and there was an Emerson College poll that had President Trump down 4 points at the time. It was Joe Biden at the time, but down 4 points. And I said, wow, with the way this momentum is going, with how bad this, illegitimate puppet regime was at the time, Biden regime, I said President Trump is about to take the lead in New Jersey. And I said that on the stage, and the crowd went crazy. And there was over 100,000 people at that rally. It was the biggest political event in New Jersey history, which we talked about. And I think at the end of the day, if we're looking back at all the Trump rallies that happened over the course of the 2024 election, the New Jersey rally might have been the biggest one of all, which is kind of unbelievable. So, the fact that that's where he got 100,000 people, it tells us something. It tells us that if we focus time, energy, and resources in these states that some would say would traditionally be blue, we can turn them red. And I said this to the Trump campaign after the election. Lost New Jersey by 5 points, President Trump did. In 2016, he lost it by 16. In 2020, he also lost it by 16, allegedly. If they would have spent money in New Jersey, they would have won. They're spending money in 8 different swing states because you got to win the swing states. But in New Jersey, if he would have spent a little bit of money, they literally would have flipped it. That goes to show you how strong Trump's brand and messaging was this past cycle. Obviously, they're going for all the swing states, and they swept the board. But New Jersey, I think we're going to flip it in 2028, Vanessa.
I hope so. What are you thinking when it comes to the midterms? What's the momentum like there for the midterms?
Well, it's funny. We actually have a gubernatorial election that's coming up before the midterms. Only 2 states have governor elections this year in 2025. New Jersey is one of them. Virginia is the other one. And New Jersey has the opportunity. Actually, our biggest newspaper today, which is super lefty, NJ.com, the Star Ledger, they wrote a story saying that a Republican will win New Jersey unless Trump messes it up. But they're a left-wing rag. But the fact that they acknowledge that, what's the stages here with these crazy leftists, when they start to acknowledge it possibly happening, that's when you know that you have them on the ropes. Because in any other situation, they wouldn't even give it a thought. And now they're saying that Republicans can win. So I think that Republicans, if they nominate the right candidate, have the right message and the right coalition, we could actually win the governor mansion this year. And then in the midterms, it's interesting because it's so gerrymandered. So in terms of pickups in Congress, I don't know. There might be one seat where we could pick it up, but the Democrats who control redistricting here have gerrymandered it so bad, I think almost illegally. Unfortunately, a lot of rhinos were involved in that too. But so I think we're going to, hold our congressional seats, maybe pick up one, maybe get some better congressmen in some of the other seats. We'll see what happens in primaries, but we definitely could win the governor mansion here in 2025, which would be huge.
Absolutely. And so we'll definitely keep an eye out on that race as well. You have been in and out of the White House lately. I'm following you on X and seeing all the great deeds that you're doing. What can you tell us about the work there that, when you go to the White House, what's being talked about, what's being said about New Jersey and, of course, all of America?
Well, we've had really good conversations because the Trump campaign, again, which I thought was the best run campaign that this country has ever seen. I mean, again, the greatest political comeback, the best run campaign. Now those folks are in the White House, and I think they're doing an amazing job. And, I would keep tabs with them during the course of the election about how New Jersey was doing with early vote numbers. We'd still rig and that kind of stuff. So I was giving them the early vote reports, and it really was amazing how amazing Trump was doing in the early vote numbers. That means that our voters here respond to the too big to rig. So, when I'm in the White House, and I was there a week ago or 2 weeks ago, time is flying. We were talking about the future. We were talking about this gubernatorial election. We were talking about some of the candidates. Obviously, people are asking, what am I going to do in the future with New Jersey politics? And, that's kind of still yet to be determined. But we've certainly had some conversations about what that could look like. Because, again, in New Jersey, I'm not saying this in like a, bragging way, but we got a lot of rhinos and swamp people. And I believe that I'm President Trump's strongest, most on the record, hardest ally in the state of New Jersey. So we've built an amazing coalition in the state, and we want to be able to, maximize what we've built with our volunteers and our people who do stuff to help President Trump any way possible with whatever he needs to ensure that, New Jersey keeps trending how it should trend.
And how do people get involved? I know several people there in Jersey, and they're hardcore MAGA, and they want to help flip that state as well. Any way just an ordinary citizen can get involved in the initiative?
Well, I'll tell you this. Two things. One, we have a website, AmericaFirstRepublicansNJ.com. That's a lot, so type it out carefully. AmericaFirstRepublicansNJ.com. If you go to that website, you can fill out the form. It might still be from the 2024 election, but that form comes to me and my team, and we can help you out and get you involved in what's going on. And if you want to get involved in, doing things to help the gubernatorial election, or if you even just want more information on the gubernatorial election, I'm happy to give it. I know I'm on this beautiful TV station, but I'm accessible to everybody watching. So if you hit me up on X at Mike Crispi, happy to provide and dish on what is going on the gubernatorial election. I post a lot about it on X, and I post about it on Facebook. My Facebook is almost exclusively New Jersey stuff. And so if you get in touch with me there, or if you sign up on AmericaFirstRepublicansNJ.com, we can get in touch with you and help, guide you to the right place to make the maximal impact for what I think we're about to do here in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. So if you're watching at home, make sure you get in contact with Mike Crispi and help out in that initiative. Let's talk about Alina Habba. Amazing that she's now there in New Jersey and hitting the ground running as soon as she got her new role.
Yeah, Alina Habba, obviously very selfless of her to leave the position that she was in to take a position that, again, it's not so easy to do the job that she is now doing, but it just goes to show how selfless she is. She's in the White House, and again, she's doing great work. And, she got sent on a mission, and the mission was that New Jersey is a state that's coming to us. Trump called it underrated when he was, swearing in, or they were swearing in Alina Habba. He was there for the swearing in. And that's exactly the type of mindset that I believe Alina Habba has, is that New Jersey is underrated. It is important. You got to focus on it. And the only way you can have any type of level playing field for us to win in New Jersey, first thing that's got to be in place is law and order. That is fixing the integrity of our elections. That's not allowing illegal aliens to roam the streets, or even worse, become voters. So Alina Habba, I have seen so far, she's tackling these two issues head on, which is so important. So it's very selfless of her, that she stepped out of the White House to go to New Jersey to do the hard work. She's from New Jersey, the hard but necessary work, not just for our state, but what I believe is the future of electoral politics, which I believe involves, New Jersey at the center. If we clean it up, which I believe Alina Habba will help lead the charge to doing, we'll win easy.
Absolutely. And that leads me to this, Mike, is that, we're a big advocate here at Lindell TV for election integrity. A lot of election integrity news has made the rounds in the last couple of weeks with President Trump's executive orders he's been signing. We just talked to Allison Steinberg, our White House correspondent, about sanctuary cities. President Trump has been talking about that today, actually, on his social media pages. Those who aren't complying, New Jersey was brought up. What are your thoughts on that? New Jersey and these authorities who are not wanting to comply and are helping these illegal aliens over American citizens?
Well, I said this a couple of weeks ago, is that the governor of New Jersey said that he harbors an illegal immigrant in his house or on his property or something like that. I don't know if he was saying that tongue in cheek or what it was, but I said, hey, Tom Homan, I know exactly where he lives in Middletown, New Jersey. Come with me. I'll lead you right to the front door. We'll bust down his door and do an ICE raid. I'll come along with it. I'll videotape it for Lindell TV, and we can arrest this criminal, okay, who was enabling illegal behavior. That's the governor of New Jersey. You can't harbor an illegal immigrant in your house. And Tom Homan always goes on TV and talks about it, the section in the code that it is, breaking. So we can do the ICE raid. We should get in there. And obviously, another thing in New Jersey is, we do have election integrity problems. No signature verification. Obviously, a lot of illegals pouring into our state. And, just in the last segment, and it's talked about a lot lately, is that these illegals are getting these quasi-social security numbers. So if you're in an urban area and you're going to, want to go vote, will they take your quasi-social security number and then just let you vote? Who's going to check it in Newark? Who's going to check it in Camden? Who's going to check it in Patterson? These are our inner cities that are run by Democrat criminal cartels. So that's why Alina Habba's job is so important, because you got to clean it up from the inside out. Otherwise, they will cheat. I'll tell you something else. In the 2024 election, which, again, I was following it extremely closely on how Trump was doing leading up to the election. And then on election day, Trump was dominating the early voting, doing an amazing job, really making massive gains for Republicans. On election night in Gloucester County, which is a red swing area, there was the machines being shut down for like 3 or 4 hours at the end of the night. And the lines were like, hours long. So people just turned around and went home in what was a really big voter nucleus where the numbers were looking really good for Trump in the early and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of unbelievable how they just shut down machines for hours and hours in the early evening when people get off work. Because who goes to vote when people get off work? Republicans, okay? Democrats don't have jobs. They vote earlier. So, Republicans are waiting to vote. They shut down the machines. People are waiting there for 3 hours. That might have been another point or two. So New Jersey's even closer than people think.
Absolutely, and that's just unbelievable when it comes to the machines, the story you just told us, and then also we also say, and I know it's hard, but whenever you get in line, stay in line. That's what they want you to do. They want you to leave, but always stay in line and get down to the bottom of it, get answers, and most importantly, get your vote in. So good. So I'm gonna hold you to those raids that you're talking about, Mike, and make sure we're on board with you whenever those happen, because I want to pretend that I'm there, and I know that you'll help us get the inside scoop on when that happens, and then we'll bring you on for that as well. Tell us how, you're here on Lindell TV. Some people may not know, some people may know. You have a show here on Lindell TV as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Crispi Unafraid. Mike Crispi Unafraid. We've been running it for a long time. Lindell TV, has grown and evolved in many amazing ways, getting just the best talent like you, Vanessa, and so many of the other great folks who are, making this network go to new heights. And, been around for a while and fortunate and blessed to have, hung on and stayed in the mix. And, my show, Mike Crispi Unafraid, airs every single morning on Lindell TV, and it's on the site. So, go check it out. Mike Crispi Unafraid. It's a show where I go through the news of the day, hard-hitting, fast-paced. I think it's a little uniquely entertaining, too. We have a little fun. We go through the stories, and we show you the headlines and the footage that the mainstream media just doesn't. And I usually like to just break it down for people, because in the morning, trying to disseminate the news and this and that. So I don't usually have on the talking heads. I'll usually just go through all of the things that I think that people need to focus in on, because I think people would like that. It's like an aggregator of sorts, because a lot of people always say, where do you see these clips? I would send them to my parents or my family or our friends. And they're like, where are you even finding this? So that's kind of how the show is born, because I'm like, well, if we just put this all together with my charming personality and my producer Frankie's good skills, we can put on a nice broadcast for the people. So it's great to be on Lindell TV with it. And, we're just getting started. I know we're all about to go to new heights. So more to come.
And you do have a charming personality. You're very great at what you do. We appreciate everything that you're doing in New Jersey and beyond. Keep us updated, and we'd love to have you on again very soon with more updates of what's coming out of New Jersey. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon. All right, we're digging deep this hour on President Trump's executive order on Chris Krebs. Yesterday, the president signed an executive order to address the risks from Chris Krebs and government censorship. Here's that moment when it was signed.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. This is it's a similar presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. It addresses his access to government, existing clearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us, and that would have never happened.
Well, here's the backstory. Krebs was an aide in the president's first administration. He served as the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. That falls under the Department of Homeland Security. When the 2020 election was stolen, as we all believe that it was, the White House says he was, quote, a bad faith actor who weaponized and abused the government authority. The White House says he suppressed conservative viewpoints under the guise of combating supposed misinformation. The White House also says he recruited and coerced major social media platforms to further its partisan mission, going on to say that he promoted the censorship of election information. Here he is in a 60 Minutes interview. We pulled that up for you. This was right after the 2020 election.
It's completely and utterly surreal. None of these lies have been substantiated to any extent. Every single one of them has been debunked.
Chris Krebs was director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, charged with protecting the 2020 election. He called it the most secure election in American history, and days later was fired by President Trump.
How secure was the 2020 election? Let me put it this way. It was the most litigated. It was the most scrutinized. It was the most audited. This election was put through the ringer from so many different directions. There's no evidence that any machine that I'm aware of has been manipulated by a foreign power. Period.
Communist money from China and Cuba used to influence the election.
Look, I think we can go on and on with all the farcical claims that alleging interference in the 2020 election, but the proof is in the ballots. The recounts are consistent with the initial count, and to me, that's further evidence, that's confirmation that the systems used in the 2020 election performed as expected, and the American people should have 100% confidence in their vote.
Well, in a statement from the White House, it says Krebs falsely and basely denied that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, including dismissing widespread serious vulnerabilities, that is, with voting machines. So President Trump has directed the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to review Krebs's activities as a government employee. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, she says something different than what Krebs says in his interview on 60 Minutes. This is what she had to say just moments ago.
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast. which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections.
As you know, Mike Lindell has been talking about the dangers of Krebs for years. Mike is out today having surgery, but he did release this on his social media page saying, quote, "We have to melt down the voting machines, turn them into prison bars, and put election criminals like Chris Krebs behind them." He then put a link to his website, LindellPlan.com. We encourage you to go there. Again, it's LindellPlan.com. And we will continue following this executive order here on Lindell TV. All the latest information can be found right here. Another big story for today, we're continuing to watch the stock market surging after a big announcement from President Trump. It surged yesterday, but we're getting whiplash. Another day of red today. Taking a look at the latest numbers from Market Watch. The Dow, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ all down at this hour. The Dow down 1,000 points. The S&P 500 down 188 points, and the NASDAQ down 737 points. You're looking at live numbers right there. And as a reminder, now is a good time to invest in gold and silver. That's why we recommend our friends over at Fisher Gold. The national debt has skyrocketed to $36 trillion. We know that you may have been eating away at your savings under the Biden administration, but protecting yourself with gold and silver could help you secure your wealth today. There's the website right there. Go to MikeLindellGold.com, MikeLindellGold.com. That's the website. These conservative representatives, they share our values. They're waiting to hear from you. So make sure you tune in or log on right now and get yourself a head start on protecting for the future. We do have breaking news coming into you right now. I'm just learning that there are reports of an aircraft down in the Hudson River in New York City. We are following that right now. The New York Fire Department is responding. First pictures coming in here to Lindell TV. Unknown if there are any injuries or casualties at this hour. This is a developing story. We do not know what type of aircraft, if it was a private plane or a commercial plane. If we can get more details on that, please. We're now hearing that it was a helicopter down in the Hudson River in New York. We are continuing to follow that breaking news story just coming in right now. Be sure to follow us on X, on Vocal, on Truth Social, and of course LindellTV.com for more on this breaking news story. A helicopter down in the Hudson River in New York. Emergency responders are on the scene, and we will keep you posted. Our thoughts and prayers for everyone who was on board. Going back to the stock market now and the tariffs, the stock market going down, all of this because of China. It's not cooperating with an even playing field when it comes to fair trade and tariffs. It was all brought up today in today's cabinet meeting. It was a very good cabinet meeting today with President Trump. We start with National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Here's what he had to say about China.
Mr. President, last year, the Chinese received 1,700 orders for new ships. American shipyards received 5. Under your leadership, like so many other industries, we are going to revitalize and make shipbuilding and maritime great again with these blue-collar jobs. These are the cranes, the ports, opportunity zones, and drive that investment back in. And we have, under that executive order, and also one to streamline foreign military sales for people that want to buy our equipment, and of course acquisition reform, all just this week under your leadership, Mr. President.
So we're going to be rebuilding our shipbuilding business. We may order, would have to go to Congress for this, but we may buy some ships from other countries that we're close to and that do great jobs with ships, but we're going to start the process of rebuilding. We don't really essentially build ships anymore, which is ridiculous. It's going to be a very big business for us in the not too distant future, but in the meantime, we have countries that do very well at building ships, and we'll be dealing with those countries, and we may be ordering top-of-the-line ships from those countries. And within a fairly short period of time, we'll be building our own ships. So we'll probably have to go to Congress for that. But we're not going to have a problem.
As you know, President Trump has put a 90-day pause on tariffs to other countries who have cooperated. They're coming to America and they're showing respect to the United States. Here's Howard Lutnick with more on that.
So we have so many countries to talk to. It is, it's incredible. I think Scott and I, I'm not sure we could ever have enough time in the day to talk to all these countries because they want to talk and they want to talk now. And they have come with offers that they never, ever, ever would have come with, but for the moves that the president has made, demanding that people treat the United States with respect. We're getting the respect we deserve now. And I think you're going to see historic deals, one after the other. And then I'm very excited that within a week and a half, we're going to start with the gold card. And the Trump card is coming out. And we're very excited about that. And that's coming soon. So very excited.
Thank you very much. Good job.
You know, we've been showing you the stock market because it did go way down after he announced tariffs on the globe, all around the world. Well, then it came back up yesterday and then it went back down today, and we'll continue to monitor it. But when it comes to the economy, we're actually doing pretty well. The president says we're right on target, and here's what he had to say during the cabinet meeting.
We had a very good meeting. We're talking about a lot of different things. Consumer prices have actually dropped. There's very little inflation. Everybody predicted a lot of inflation, very little inflation. Energy costs are down. Interest rates are probably down. They scatter, but they're probably down. Prescription drug prices are even to down. We're doing very well. It's been amazing. We had a big day yesterday. There'll always be transition difficulty, but we had in history, it was the biggest day in history, the markets. So we're very, very happy with the way the country's running. We're trying to get the world to treat us fairly. This is something that should have been done 25 years ago, and it wasn't. Should have been done 40 years ago, and it wasn't. But no president was willing to take it on, but you had to. It's not sustainable. It wasn't sustainable.
The House voted and passed the president's budget resolution, the SAVE Act. Now the bill is being drawn up and headed to the president's desk to sign. In it, requiring proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. Now, I know a lot of you are aware of autism and the pandemic going on in our country right now. That was also at the forefront of today's cabinet meeting. The rise rate is alarming. It's scary for parents, for children, for anyone. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's investigating, and he says we'll have answers by September. Take a listen.
And we are going, at your direction, we are going to know by September. We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. Not 31,000, 31. That's a horrible statistic, isn't it? And there's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that. So that's it. If you can come up with that answer where you stop taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. It can't be from 10,000 to. Can you imagine that, Marco? That's a big number. Thank you very much. You're doing great. Thank you, Bobby.
Like the president just mentioned, 1 in 31 children in America are diagnosed with autism compared to 1 in 4 out of 10,000 in the 1980s. Something's wrong. The Make America Healthy Again Commission is dedicated to finding answers and the root cause. We want to go back now to that breaking news story of a helicopter crash in the Hudson River. Reading reports now from the Associated Press. The Associated Press says that the number of people on board is unknown, but they are confirming that 6 people were killed in that crash. 6 people have been killed, according to the Associated Press. It was a helicopter flying over the Hudson River near New York City this afternoon. Emergency vehicles are on scene. I know we have some new footage coming in of that. The New York Fire Department is responding. The New York Police Department is responding. Even officials from New Jersey are on scene, I'm being told. So rescue teams are there right now, and they are trying to get there and get to the people as quick as possible. But they are confirming, the Associated Press says, that 6 people are confirmed dead. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board is investigating at this time. We're told children were also on that flight. So very heartbreaking to see. We know 2 adults, 3 children at least were on that plane. And again, the Associated Press confirming some fatalities. We'll definitely keep you posted on social media and online with that. When we come back, a word from Mike Lindell and Mike Dillon. The topic, health. It's so important. They'll tell us about a product called Cardio Miracle. Stick around for that next.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you. Today, I'm here with Mike Dillon, the inventor and founder of airwaterhealing.com, and he is going to tell us about a new product, which I'm very excited about. We talked a little bit before the show, Cardio Miracle, and I want to get right into it. What is Cardio Miracle, Mike?
So Cardio Miracle is A to Z supplement that's absolutely incredible. It tastes absolutely incredible. It's got a very beautiful berry taste, but what it is it is a nitric oxide support supplement. And anybody who doesn't understand what nitric oxide is, it is necessary for human life. And it is by far my favorite whole body supplement and heart health product that we at Airwater Healing have ever come across.
Really? Wow. Why is nitric oxide, why is that important to your health?
So nitric oxide is, number one, it's a signaling molecule, right? So inside of the body, it plays a role not only regulating blood flow, but it's awesome to help maintain cardiovascular health, and it also supports your immune system. So when you're promoting brain health and keeping in thought, keep in mind that nitric oxide is the 3rd most essential gas in your respiratory cycle. So it is absolutely important that everybody is understanding that this is a game changer for a product for your health.
I know you were telling me before we started, you're saying, so like if I haven't taken this, I'm telling everybody I'm very excited about trying it. You and I were talking before the show here. Am I going to feel that? Am I going to feel something? I mean, I have a lot of energy, but am I going to feel more energy? What's it going to do for me?
Okay, so I tell everybody that not only are you going to feel it immediately as far as energy being restored, but I tell people if you do any type of outdoor activity, you go play pickleball, if you're doing tennis or you're going out and golfing, You take Cardio Miracle, and you are going to notice a difference immediately with your stamina. You're also going to notice it with pain management. You start to feel more like cognitive. You could literally start to feel the increase in the blood flow, and it is an absolute game changer for anybody that's athletic.
Wow. Well, I don't do a lot. Well, I'm going to start riding bikes more, but I don't do a lot of exercise. What if I don't do a lot of exercise? Am I still going to feel anything different?
Well, not only are you going to feel different as far as when you're going out, but when you're talking about lymphatic performance and insulin reception, cellular health and reproduction, but sleep. I've had so many people compliment us on the not only the increased hours that they're sleeping, but the way that they're sleeping. People are noticing a huge difference when starting to take Cardio Miracle.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's something. So it actually enhances or makes your sleep better. Would you say yourself a deeper sleep, more sleep, or what? How do you feel it helps your own sleep?
Oh my gosh, it's fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer. And if anybody in this country knows anything about getting a good night's sleep, I think it's you,
Right.
brother.
Well, then, now, do you have a My Pillow?
I do. I absolutely
Well,
do.
okay, but you actually took this after you had the My Pillow, right? I mean,
Yes,
which
of
came,
course,
Which
of
came
course.
first? Which came first?
It was the pillow and then the Cardio Miracle.
Okay, so you hear that, everybody? Even if you have a My Pillow, this makes it better. Now I really can't wait to try it. So you're taking it at night, and then you're also taking it during the day. It does basically two different things because it's helping your. Now I've got something in my notes here that it even helps with aging. Is that true too?
So for cellular age, absolutely, and all of that can be verified with heart rate variability. I do recommend that Cardio Miracle for the best optimization of nitric oxide in the body. We actually recommend taking it in the morning and taking it in the evening. It works way better on an empty stomach, and typically you want to wait about 30 minutes before consuming any protein when taking this when taking this supplement to receive the most benefits. Now I drink it throughout the day. So I've got my little Cardio Miracle shaker, and I'll drink it. My first batch will last me probably halfway through the day, and then I'll make sure I get it.
So you can just and you can't take too much, really.
No, because your body will absorb what it needs, and you've got to remember that.
Yeah. So now, is this for anybody's age? I mean, can kids take it too?
Absolutely.
Really? Wow, that is awesome. And it tastes good, huh?
It tastes incredible. It tastes absolutely incredible. I tell everybody that if you can imagine, almost like a berry, a mix between a berry and almost like a lemonade, although there's no lemon flavor to it, but it's just absolutely incredible. I can't focus on how great Cardio Miracle tastes. It's so easy to enjoy, and you take it for daily health.
Okay. Well, you got me going here. I'm going to have my assistant go make me a drink up quick. Okay, I'm gonna try it right here on air.
It's incredible. I also want to mention that nothing compares to Cardio Miracle on the market because of our amino boosting blend using arginine, citrulline, and also the orthogonine. And we have scientific validation that really separates us from the rest. I tell everybody, if you want to do a deep dive, there's actually a really good article that was written. The one of the Nobel prized papers that was out there, it was on a book that was called No More Heart Disease, and it's about how nitric oxide can prevent and reverse heart disease. It's the cardiovascular book. Also has a lot of validation to what we're saying in our products, but nothing more than the 2020 reference that was done by the Malinsky study, and that was showing the importance of nitric oxide and vitamin D3. Which is a fat-soluble hormone. So, Cardio Miracle can actually help the body use stored vitamin D through mechanisms of the action between the synergies of the ingredients that promote optimal delivery of the bioavailable nutrients to the cell. And I think that right there, knowing that vitamin D3 synergistically supports the enhanced nitric oxide production, that's an incredible thing for everyone to know.
Wow. Well, you got that down. How long has this been around? Quite a while?
Oh my gosh, man. John Hewlett, since 2014, has been scientifically validating this formula. And I believe before he was working on this formula, he had decades in the health and wellness space, specifically focusing on heart health.
Now that John, he was the inventor of it. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so
and I can tell you,
how did you get involved? You happen to try it and go, whoa, or
So my personal story, one, my mom was told that she was never going to get off of her heart medication, and I got my mom the Cardio Miracle, and within 90 days she was able to get off of all of her heart medication. And my partner, during her pregnancy, she took the nitric oxide blend. She took the Cardio Miracle. She took it in the morning and every single night for 9 months, from the moment she found out she was pregnant to the moment that we gave birth to our daughter at home. And the midwife, who had delivered thousands of babies in over 25 years, she said that she has never seen an umbilical cord as long as the one that we had, and she had never seen a placenta as healthy as the one that was delivered, what they call the afterbirth. And she literally said to me, she goes, "What did she take there while she was pregnant?" And I was like, "She took this thing called Cardio Miracle." I was like, that's the only thing that we changed. That's all we changed in her diet was the Cardio Miracle.
Wow, the only variable. That is incredible. So you've got the let's see, I got another question I had here. And we talked about the studies. You answered that too. You guys, if you're joining us today, we have Mike Dillon here. He's the inventor and founder of airwaterhealing.com. And he's brought me this product, Cardio Miracle. I don't have the bag right now because my assistant, I had to have a drink. She's out making me one right now. But it sounds absolutely incredible. And I am going to be, here we go. This is the big test here. Come on in.
Bring him some cardio. He needs some Cardio Miracle.
Okay. All right. We're going to try it. Do I have a glass? Or you just put it in this, huh?
Yeah, mix it all up.
Boy, that is good tasting.
I told you.
Yeah, no, it's really good tasting, everybody. It's really good. It tastes so good. My wife wants me to drink more water. Every day she's pushing me to drink more water. And I go, well, come on, there's water and coffee, And she doesn't buy that. So here I go. Having this in with my water, I'll be able to do both. That is really good tasting, everybody. And so I'm going to be trying it. I'm going to be using it for the next, till we do our next interview with you. But I'll get back to everyone and let them know how it's all working.
So another thing too, Mike, if you don't mind, real quick, I wanted to mention, because I know that you have a love for our military, especially our retired military, and no more than love for our active military. There's actually a ongoing study right now in the breakthroughs of nitric oxide. Right now, we are doing a research from Cardio Miracle's June 2024 research that was highlighted in the American Institute of Stress for Combat magazine, highlights the importance of arginine for PTSD symptoms, inflammatory markers, and chronic stress. So if anybody wants to research or look into that, or if you know anybody that has suffered from not only military active duty PTSD, but any PTSD, Cardio Miracle can be a game changer in that field for people who are experiencing PTSD.
Wow. Wow. Well, everybody, you can see it there. We got I don't know if we have it posted there. Where can they get where can we get this? Is there a website? Do we have that posted up there?
We do. So absolutely. Anybody can go to airwaterhealing.com. And if they go right to our supplement section or on the main page, they'll see Cardio Miracle. What we're going to do for everybody is anybody that goes on our subscribe and save, which this is not a product that you just take for a month and then never take it again. It's life changing. So when they go on the subscribe and save, not only do they get a huge discount, but if they buy our best selling 180 or our 90 serving, which are our two best sellers. So if they get the 180 serving or the 90 serving and they go on the subscribe and save, when they use code Lindell, we're going to send them a free $150 plug-in air purifier. So they can use it in their bedroom for sleeping. They can use it in combination with their
Okay, wait. Whoa! So you get a free. Say that again. What do they get? Using promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. You're gonna get what's the offer again if they subscribe? Say it again.
Yep. So if they do our subscribe and save on our two best sellers, which is our 180 serving and our 90 serving, we're going to send them with their Cardio Miracle packet. We're going to send them a free $150 air purifier, never done before. Only for Lindell TV and Lindell lovers, and that's never been done before in the history of our company.
Wow, you hear that, guys? You got to all get on board with this. Is there a 1-800 number they can call and order?
So if they want to order, they can actually text 561-480-3048. If they want to text, and we can do a phone order to get that as well. If they don't want to go on the website, just text Cardio Miracle to 561-480-3048, and somebody from the office will reach back out to them and get their order fulfilled.
Wow. So you guys got to do that. Promo code Lindell, everybody. Promo code Lindell. Mike, this is absolutely awesome. I'm just reading the packet here. Real science, real people, real results. You guys got a lot of, who does all the marketing on here? This is really good too. This, I always look at the marketing, but there's so many good things here. The whole back's taken up, everybody. But a 60-day money back guarantee too, everybody. That's what it says on here. Is that true? We're going to give them that, Mike, too.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever had anybody call and say that they didn't notice a huge difference.
Wow.
There's so much scientific studies that's done, and if they go on the website or if they want to email, have any other questions, anybody can feel free to please email me directly, mike@airwaterhealing.com, or again, they can just send their questions over to the number that we had given earlier.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to come back on after I've tried it for a week or two. What do you think? I should come back after a week or two and we get back on and talk about, how my energies went up or my sleep's gotten better?
Yeah, take one packet in the morning and one packet at night. At least 2 hours before you go to bed. But now your wife's going to be happy because it's going to have you drinking more water.
Yeah, no, I love that. You guys, it tastes great. I know. Absolutely. So one more time, you guys go to airwaterhealing.com, promo code Lindell. And what are they going to get, Mike? What should they get right away to get that free air purifier? I would either do the 90 or the 180 serving and go on the subscribe and save, and then you're going to get a free $150 air purifier. It plugs right into the wall. It's great for travel. It's great for single bedrooms for removing dust, pollen, allergens, and mold from the air. And when they go on subscribe and save, we're going to send that to them absolutely free when they use code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. You hear that, guys? You're getting more from this promo code than any promo code I've ever given out. Promo code Lindell, airwaterhealing.com. And, boy, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to try it, Mike. And thank you for coming on again. And we'll see you soon. You guys, this is Mike Lindell, and here with Mike Dillon. And the new product, the great product, Cardio Miracle. I'm going to be taking it, and you should too.
Mike Lindell found a new drink to give him more energy, just what he needs. Looks good. I'm not going to have to try out some as well. We want to remind you, too, to check out mypillow.com. Go shop there. Use the promo code Lindell. Big savings. The big box stores didn't come through. They canceled Mike, but the American people and people from all over the world are supporting Mike Lindell, and it's because of you that we're still going strong here. So continue to support Mike with great products. Type in the promo code Lindell for some big savings. Again, that's mypillow.com. We want to close the show again with that breaking news story coming out of New York City, a helicopter crash. We did get some new video just in. We warn you, it's very heartbreaking to watch of the helicopter going down in New York into the Hudson River. We know multiple people were on board, including children. Fatalities have been confirmed, and so our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to the victims, their families, their friends, and of course the first responders from NYPD, the New York Fire Department. First responders from New Jersey are also responding to the scene. So we appreciate their diligence and trying to rescue these victims, but we do know there have been some fatalities. And you can find the latest on our X account and all of our social media platforms and LindellTV.com. One more time, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and their families. Stick with us here on Lindell TV. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We'll see you right back here on The Mike Lindell Show tomorrow.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.